Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Okay, everyone, please turn on your camera because this meeting is being recorded. Okay, so my name is Yasmin Mumtaza and my partner. My name is Cherry Kirapea. Today we will present about Unit 6, Let's Eat. So please open the file at Unit 6. Okay, so we will start in the word from exercise A, then listen and check your answers. Let's listen the audio first.
Page 104, Exercise B.
1. Today, many countries have produced guidelines to teach their citizens about healthy diets.
2. Most doctors recommend eating a lot of fruits and vegetables.
3. Grains such as rice, wheat, and corn are basic parts of most people's diets.
4. It's okay to include a few servings of sweets in your diet each week, but not too many.
5. Cheese is an excellent source of calcium. So are milk and yogurt.
6. Scientists believe the regional food in Sardinia, Italy helps the people who live there to have long, healthy lives.
7. A varied diet.
Okay, for this part, we will just cut it to 5 questions. So let's answer the questions together. Kira?
Okay. First, number one. Today, many countries have produced blah 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 blah.
Guidelines.
Okay, good.
Yes, thank you, Alif. The next
Blah
question.
blah blah. Eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. What's the answer?
Recommend.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the answer?
The answer is recommend.
Is it correct, Miss Shira?
Yes, correct. Good.
Yes, very good, Rani. Thank you. So the next questions.
The answer is drains.
Include a few blah 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 of sweets in your diets each week, but not too many. What's the answer?
Servings.
Number five. Cheese is an excellent blah 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 of calcium, so are milk and yogurt. What's the answer?
Source.
Okay, correct. Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next audio and to the next questions.
Page 106, Exercise B, and page 107, Exercise D. A presentation about the Korean diet.
Hello, everyone. As you know, I'm from South Korea, and people from my country love food. So today, I'll be talking about what else? Food. Specifically, I'll be talking about changes in the Korean diet in the 20th century. First, as you might know, South Korea is a country that developed very quickly. Around 50 years ago, South Korea was a developing agricultural country. Today, it's one of the most modern countries in Asia, and people's diets have modernized too. In my research, I've been looking at these dietary changes and trying to answer this question. Which kind of diet is better? A traditional diet or a modern one? Okay, this chart shows what Koreans ate in 2 different years, 1969, before Korea started modernizing, and 1995, after Korea was modernized. You can see that in 1969, people were eating about 37 ounces of food every day. And in 1995, they were eating about 39 ounces of food. That's not a very big change. So even when Korea was a developing country, overall, people had enough food.
Miran, may I say something here? You're talking about the average amount of food. So maybe some people really didn't have enough to eat. Can we really assume that everyone was eating well?
That's a good point. Actually, because Korea was a farming country then, almost everyone had some kind of food, but their diets weren't always healthy. Okay, moving on. When we compare the kinds of food people ate, we see a significant difference. The most important food in Korea is rice. We eat it 3 times a day. In 1969, people were eating 20 ounces of rice every day, more than a pound. That's a lot of rice, around 6 servings per day. But if you don't eat a varied diet, you're not going to be very healthy. By 1995, people were eating only 11 ounces of rice and other grains per day, much less than in the past. Now remember, the total amount of food increased during that period of time. So, what specific foods were people eating in 1995? If you look at the chart, you'll see that people were eating more of everything. Their diets became much more varied. The amount of vegetables they ate increased a little from 9.5 ounces a day in 1969 to 10 ounces a day in 1995. But people were eating a lot more fruit. The amount of fruit people ate increased from about 2 ounces a day to about 5 ounces a day. They were getting more vitamins from that extra fruit. And look at meat. In 1969, people were only eating a very tiny amount of meat, about 1/4 of an ounce a day. In 1995, they were eating almost 2.5 ounces a day. That's 10 times as much. Finally, look at the numbers for milk. Okay, in 1969, people were only drinking about 1/10 of an ounce of milk per day. In 1995, that increased to about 2.3 ounces a day. All in all, Korean people's diets in 1995 were much closer to government guidelines than they used to be.
Could I ask a question, Miran? Is that just milk, or does that include other dairy products too?
That includes all dairy products. A lot of Koreans like yogurt and ice cream, though there are regional differences. people in different parts of the country like to eat different things. It varies. All right, to continue. As the country developed, instead of just eating a lot of rice and vegetables, Koreans started including many other kinds of food in their diets, especially animal products like meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products. One reason for this change was that people had more money, so they could buy more of these expensive foods. The percentage of animal products in the Korean diet went from 3% in 1969 to almost 21% in 1995. That's the biggest change in the Korean diet. Now, some nutritionists recommend having a diet that consists of mostly plant foods, such as grains and fruits and vegetables. They think animal products, meat, cheese, butter, and so on, aren't healthy. But I'm not sure those nutritionists are totally correct. That's because young Koreans today are taller than before. The average height of teenage boys is about 3.5 inches taller, and the average teenage girl is almost 2 inches taller. It's very interesting. I think that young people now are taller because of the improved diet. Meat, milk, cheese, and other animal products are good sources of protein. And if a population eats more protein, people are taller on average. Really, in general, people in Korea are healthier now. So, in conclusion, I want to return to my original question. Which is better, a modern diet or a traditional diet? Now, in some of the other presentations, we heard about places where the modern diet has caused some new health problems. But my research on South Korea shows us that in some ways, at least, a modern diet can be better than a traditional diet. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, let's move to the questions. Listening A.
What's the answer of rice and other grains?
Marshanda?
Yes. For number,
Rice and other grains. What's the answer?
wait. The answer is 20 and 11.
Okay,
Yes,
correct.
Very good. Next.
Okay, next. What's the answer of vegetables?
Najwa Rizky?
The answer is 9.5 or 10.
Okay, correct. Next. What's the answer of fruits?
2 and 5.
Okay,
correct.
good. Next, meat. What's the answer?
Raisha?
The answer is 1. The answer is 25 and 2.5.
Yes,
Okay.
very good.
Next, the last. What's the answer of milk and other dairy products?
Soraya. Okay, maybe the other. Marshanda.
The answer is 1 and 2.3.
Okay, correct.
Good. Okay, move. Teaching A. Exercise A.
So, work with a partner, use the words and phrases below to make sentences using the present real conditional. Number 1, you can practice your speaking, please. Anyone? Soraya.
Answer number 1. Soraya.
Baik, yang the others, maybe Raisya.
Number 1, if I don't eat breakfast, I feel very hungry by the late morning.
Okay, correct. Next, number 2. What's the answer?
If I arrive late to class, I enter the room quickly.
Okay.
Quickly.
Number 3. What's the answer?
If my sister sees fresh oranges, she always wants to buy some.
Okay, good. Next, number 4. What's the answer?
If you like the fish, you shouldn't order that dish.
Good. Next, number 5.
If I feel hungry at night, I sometimes order a pizza.
Good. The last, number 6. What's the answer?
If people don't like to eat meat, they can become vegetarians.
Okay, good job. Okay, next, move to vocabulary B, exercise B.
So in this exercise, you have to read the sentences, then decide whether the underlined word in each sentences is a noun or a verb. Choose N for noun and or V for verb. Then compare your answers with your partners.
Okay. We start. Number one is noun or verb.
Noun.
Okay.
Noun.
Number 2.
Noun. Also noun.
Number 2, noun.
Yes.
Good.
Next.
3.
Verb.
Verb.
Mhm.
Number 4.
Verb.
The last number 5.
Noun.
Okay, good. Okay, move listening B. We listen audio first.
Exercises B and C. Discussion about food psychology.
This is really nice. We should go out to dinner together more often.
Yes, it's good to see you two. And we've never been here before. This menu looks great. Descriptions of the food sound delicious.
I agree, Patrick. Grace knows how to appeal to hungry people. You're right, Lydia. The descriptions and photos of the food on the menu would certainly stimulate your appetite if you weren't hungry already. And look, there's a survey card on the table where we can leave comments and rate the food.
That's a good strategy, actually. You give customers a chance to give feedback about the food. They feel like they're communicating with the restaurant owners.
Right, and communicating with customers is so important nowadays. I mean, look at social media. Using it to market all kinds of products. It's all about communication. If you can convince people to see your business as a friend or a business partner, instead of just someone who is trying to get their money, it can be a very effective strategy.
Communicating with customers is the real strength of someone. And speaking of communication, it's not just connecting on social media that matters to me. Getting together for a meal with friends, family, neighbors. Those social connections are another element of psychology, the role our brain plays. Right. Like the way those beautiful photos on the menu made us start to feel hungry.
Sorry, but I was hungry before we even got here.
Okay. But Patrick makes a very relevant point. The whole food industry, from food manufacturers to grocery stores, restaurants, and advertisers, they all know us better than we know ourselves. At least, they understand the psychology of food.
That's true, Paul. One way they target us at the grocery store is by displaying a huge variety of foods. We see all of the options in front of us, and what do? We find ourselves wanting to buy at least one of everything.
Abby knows what I'm talking about. Looks, there's options, the social element. I ask a question. How does this make you feel? Do you think the food industry has power over us and the food we buy? Or the restaurants we decide to go to?
Well, understanding food psychology and understanding the way it might be used to market food, it's really helpful. You can see all the ads and you can see the beautiful displays at the grocery store, and you can say to yourself, they're using food psychology to encourage me to buy this. And then you can make a sensible decision and buy what you actually need. Good point, Lydia. Well, you know what they say, knowledge is power.
Exactly. Well, to get back to what I was saying, our psychology, the way we think, it's quite powerful. I heard about one study where they gave people the same milkshake to drink, but half of the people thought it was a low-fat, low-calorie milkshake, and half of the people thought it was super rich and high in calories.
I heard about that experiment as well. The people who thought they drunk a high-fat, high-calorie drink experienced less hunger afterwards than the other group.
And they felt full and satisfied because of what their minds told their bodies. The researchers did blood tests. The two groups actually had different blood chemistry after the experiment. If nothing else, it shows us how much our minds and our attitudes influence our bodies. I see your point, and I think that's our food.
Yep, it is. Great. I hope it tastes as good as it looks.
Okay, let's answer together the last questions.
What questions?
Descriptions and photos of food on menus.
Appeal to hungry
Hungry people or stimulate your appetite.
Yes, thank you. Survey cards give customers a chance to
give feedback
Give
and
and rate the food and surface.
very good, Saraya.
Next, social connections. Getting together for a meal with
friends, family, and
family, neighbors.
Very good, Marshanda.
Last, a variety of foods or having many options at grocery store makes us want to
Want
buy
to buy
more of everything.
Okay, very good, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.